Okay, so you guys back at Caer Enwin, and if you can remember, the time is fast approaching for the inner council to meet to discuss, uh, recent events and potentially a new course of action. So it's probably getting on for early evening time at this point when you cross the bridge into the citadel towards the grand hall. Um, And as you enter, you can kind of see already the doors ajar that people are in, and there's kind of a bit of a bustle of activity um, happening there. So you can see that the whole hierarchy is here, as you'd expect for a meeting of this magnitude. But as you make your way into the hall, Croc gestures for you guys to take your seats, and you can quite comfortably sit down close enough to kind of really be in on the action here. The tables have been cleared, and it seems that some ale is being poured around, which makes you think that they might be expecting at least a long meeting. Um, but after you guys take your seats, you wait a few more minutes. Equinial's kind of the last in. He comes and closes the door behind you and takes his seat up at the high table near Herok. But satisfied that everybody who needs to be in attendance is present, he um, kind of gestures for silence, and the room falls quiet to listen to him. Friends, it's good to be back here in Caer Enwin. I'm sure the fort has been in good hands during my unintended absence. He gestures to Ronfin, although I must say that the repairs haven't really held up all too long, have they? Ronford's a little bit disgruntled at this. Well, it was fine. You should have seen it once we had it done. The battlements were marvelous, but we just got well besieged almost by some creature. But we managed to drive it off. If it comes back, we'll be in a better position to defend it now that the ballista are in place. Rock's kind of satisfied by that response, and you see him kind of nod. After all, the walls are still in much better condition than they were when you guys first arrived at Caer Enwin all those years ago.
What kind of creature it was?
So yes, you can. Well, it was one I haven't seen before. Actually, it's quite large. It seems to be quite heavily armored from the looks of it. At least the armor seems to be hard enough to do damage to masonry, but it's kind of came out of nowhere really and just barrels on towards the walls. It almost slammed its weight into it and almost ricocheted off. But it seems that whatever it was after, it didn't find it. It didn't really make a concerted effort. It just kind of rolled away again.
That is really strange behavior from a beast, but I'm guessing that that's to be expected. We're seeing a lot of weird things these days, aren't we?
The kind of council nod in agreement at that statement. Yeah, kind of dollar pipe up. Yes, it seems that I seem to be doing a lot more repairing than I usually do. Whatever's out there seems to be getting more fierce. The recruits, I think, are having a real hard time out there. A few more nods. You remember as you entered that a lot of the kind of the new guys who were training whilst you guys have been off adventuring were clearly not present at the fort. Ronford kind of clarifies this a little more. Well, regardless of what they're fighting, we're getting a lot of contracts coming up. Lots more from the Ilafaris, actually. I think they seem to be having a fairly hard time of it. You can see that Rock's nodding at this. What about Parfudus? Well, with the ongoing war with dwarves, I think that a lot of the official coffers are tied up at the moment, but we still get the occasional private contracts now and again, but much less than our usual volume. But as I said, this is more than compensated by what's going on in the south. Actually, for the first time in a while, our balance sheets are looking pretty good. Well, that's good to hear, because I think we might have some more issues on our plate. I'll let our friends here give you a real insight into it. They've done much more digging than I have. He gestures towards you guys. Please, you have the floor.
I'm gonna quickly tune in to everybody. How much are we telling them then? The whole story, or just most of it, or none of it?
I personally don't really see the issue of telling them the whole story. We've already rooted out one betrayer amongst them, so doubt there's another, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think everything should be on the table for the Slayers now.
Okay.
Chris is just like.
The fact that you think so little of me, guy. I've got a better poker face than that.
But the final boss is sat with us, isn't he? Or her.
No
It's
comment.
that elf, isn't it? It's that fucking elf.
I reckon it's
screwing.
I reckon it's you, Tris. I reckon you're the
I'm
big
way
banger.
too so ready. Like, not a chance. We've got visions of us all sat there, like, frowning at each other. It's you.
Yeah, the council are kind of wondering about this three-way Mexican standoff that's happening in a minute between Yenva. In fact, Yenva's not even there, so
no Yenva? That's deeply suspicious.
no Yenva. But
Okay.
no, the rest of the big shots are.
To be honest, I find that the least suspicious. She's probably doing something with Titus.
Valid point. No Titus, no Yenva. Yeah, alright, fair. That can't be a coincidence. Okay, right. So, I guess rather than us rehashing it, I suppose we'll just tell them pretty much everything that we know about the Tildrage sites, Kovtara. Maybe skim over some of the things with my patron, because I think that might cause some alarm. But mention what we know about Alistair and the other fella, Quintilius.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
so,
maybe we should cover up the fact that we did murder my old associate as well.
Yes. Yeah, let's skim over that.
And he died of natural causes. Being eaten by a predator.
I mean, yeah, being ripped in half usually leads to death.
Yeah, bleeding is quite a natural cause.
So basically, all of the deaths that Triss has caused, we'll just skim past, just sail past them.
Quite natural for someone with no legs.
You guys are racking up a reasonable body count right now.
I think it's unfair to load everyone into that.
Intentional or otherwise, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you give a bit of a brief rundown of like all the major points since you guys last got together, and there's a bit of a stunned silence for a while as people start to really digest the magnitude of what's going down.
Do we tell them that one of the keystones has been handed off to the god of death?
Well, that's up to you.
Everybody? Anybody?
What was the question? Sorry, I was thinking about other things.
Do we tell them that one of the keystones is with the god of death?
Oh,
Actually, I think we probably should do.
Actually, let's mention it, but let's not mention the fact that we gave it over. Just kind of like, oh no, that angel has taken the stone.
Oh, goodness! A huge surprise. We surely could have prevented this. Maybe not.
Oh no.
Okay,
we're not
so
paid to do acting, isn't it? Really?
yeah, it's
play.
not the fact that I don't make you like act out deception rolls or something just to determine it. It's actually quite a funny thing the other day, saying like how riddles punish people, you know, because it's like, oh yes, you're a high intelligence character, you should be able to solve a riddle, but like on the other hand, nobody makes like the person who's playing a barbarian get down and do push-ups whenever he needs to make a strength check or something. But
that's a pretty good.
it's a great mechanic. Could be great for doing that. Just yes, you want to flip the table, get down and give me 20.
Nerds would get so buff.
Yeah. Just a complete reversal of fortunes. But anyway, I digress. So as you kind of reveal the extent of your misadventures, there's again a bit of a shocked silence as people are digesting essentially all that there is to take in there. But after a while, you hear Aquiniel. He's the first one to kind of pipe up after all of this. Well, it's something that I don't necessarily think the stone being in the hands of a deity is necessarily a bad thing. We can't really know what his play is in all of this, but it can't be much worse than the Chosen Sons, can it? Surely his motives are beyond the understandings of us mere mortals.
Well, as misunderstood as the god's motives may be, ultimately the possibilities can fall into one or two categories: good for us or bad for us, and that ultimately is like how he may use the stone. And do we actually know anything about the god to deduce what they might do with it?
Roll me a religion, Torek.
Ooh. Go on then. That's a good roll. Fuck, non-natural 20. Sorry, I was having a massive dyslexia moment. I was looking at like the D section of the alphabet, like where's religion?
Yeah, so you recall the various teachings.
Excuse me.
Are we good, Pascal?
Sorry, I've got a dog situation.
Oh, okay. I haven't even got into any revelation yet.
I was like, what? I've been to school.
He just barked really loudly and made me jump, and my natural reaction was to say excuse me, but forgot I wasn't.
I just imagine like Tarek getting really indignant now, just like, no, it is a proper doctorate. Look here. But I was like, yes, Sky, you remember the teachings the last time you read them, which was some time ago, but you still remember the key bits of it. And you remember these Pantheon members are all well, siblings is probably the wrong term for deities, but if they had an equivalent, that would be it. However, like many pantheons, they don't always see eye to eye on everything, but the god of death has a very, very clear, well-defined role. that he likes to stick to. He is a methodical deity, a big advocate of order, both natural and otherwise. But as far as working out any motives go, it would be a bit of a stretch jump from what you know about him to what he may want to do with it.
Yeah, I'll try and share that with the group. I'll just be like, well, the god of death is known for his propensity for a balance in all things when it comes to an order to all things of nature and even the afterlife. So I suppose it depends where he sees the most order in releasing Kovtar and wiping us out, or keeping hold of the gem and staying back the chaotic horde.
Well, regardless, it's out of our hands now. I don't see any way of us getting that back. Not without some serious magic at our backs. And that's beyond my capability, even as a wizard. But one thing we could potentially use. You mentioned something about an ancient weapon, Tarek.
Oh yes, I think I remember writing down notes about this. Where are my notes about this?
Tarek rummages through his scholar's pack, just pulling bits of shredded paper out.
The way
Yeah,
we
if anyone
understood
else wants to give the
it was incomplete. We saw some of the plans, which I believe Torek was able to sort of interpret to a degree.
Oh yes, I've got it here. And I'll lay out the blueprint. So you described it as the closest thing an ancient civilization would have to a blueprint. So like some kind of
So like technical
Da Vinci
drawings.
looking shit. Yeah.
So you kind of roll this out on the table, and everybody kind of gathers around. Although you can quite easily see that for most of them, like the significance of this is lost. But Aquiniel is quite focused on this. You can see his brow is furrowed as he examines the intricacies. That's fascinating. Well, it looks like a part of something, but I can't see this being useful to us on its own. The plans, did they mention any other components?
I don't think so. I've got the I've got the schematics for it here, but I don't have anything that gives a clue of what it's made of or needs. Perhaps I'm going to need to access some more Tildrashi sites to uncover that. Right?
Yes, perhaps. From what I can unravel of this, it seems to be some sort of plane shift device. And he points down to a part of a diagram, and it shows a very small kind of metallic ring. It seems here that the whole purpose of this is to generate a portal of sorts, but from what I'm reading, it looks far too small to be of much practical use. Well, regardless, maybe, as you say, maybe we are seeing the whole picture here. But
Hang on, how big is the entry hole?
So the kind of little ring which Aquiniel seems to think would hold this portal seems to be about 30 centimeters in diameter. It's not huge.
So it would be big enough to, say, banish a piece of Koftara to another plane.
Possibly.
How big are the keystones?
Roughly about 30 centimeters, as it happens.
Yes. Eureka, that's my hypothesis.
Although, that being said, those are cubes, and this is a 30 centimeter diameter circle, so it wouldn't fit through if you think about that.
Yes, I too went to kindergarten.
Hmm. Okay.
He quite quickly turns to Horus foe and starts pointing out the schematics. Say, Horus, do you think you'd be able to fabricate these? It doesn't seem to be all too tricky in terms of the actual structure. I imagine the real oomph of this comes from the magic within. Which point Horus leans in and again starts to get a good look at the actual mechanical parts of this. I think I could do it. Doesn't look to be too demanding. I've got the kit in my forge. Take a bit of time, but I can give it a go.
I'm gonna just quickly tune into Torek. Torek, after you picked up those schematics, did I give him an eyeballing at all?
I don't think you did. Should you, though, is the question, because it seems like your patron's pretty desperate for interplanar travel. Actually, no, it's kind of already accomplished that, I guess.
Yeah, it might just offer us some insight at all.
To its application.
Okay, I'm gonna just leap up. Give me a second. I just need to double check something with these. I'm gonna grab them again and just dash out the room.
Okay, so you swipe up the plans and dash outside. People don't really object; they're well aware of Triss's eccentricities at the moment. So you take it outside the hall into the courtyard where you've got a bit of privacy.
I'm gonna give him some eyeball.
Okay, so as you kind of cast this gaze over the plans, you can see the paper itself is not imbued with any magical properties. And if the eye is particularly interested in whatever is drawn on them, you have no way of telling. You feel nothing.
Damn, okay. I'm gonna quickly cast Identify while I'm at it, just in case anything comes up.
Yep, so it is a blueprint.
Okay, I'll take him back inside. Shake my head at Torek as I sit down.
So yeah, the two of them now are Aquinial and Horus are now kind of having a chat about, or probably the actual methods about constructing this thing. But they seem confident that it could be done, and they seem like that would be something they'd be willing to put their time towards. While you guys are off doing whatever you need to do next.
So probably more Tildrache sites for us then to see if we can find any more information.
So Rock gestures again. Right, well that's that taken care of, but we still have the issue of the this cult that are trying to bring her back in the first place. They're not going to sit idly by and just let us ransack these temples. Especially not now we're having to venture further into Nordhammer.
Do you have any ideas for how we start dealing with them?
Well, first, I think we need to find out who they really are. We know next to nothing about them. It seems that we're at a disadvantage there. They clearly know who we are and where we operate. Well, you've got their attention now too. They know what we're after. It'll be difficult, but I think we at least do have the advantage that they haven't got access to a map of these sites. But if we wanted to really stay ahead, we should probably try and find some way of striking back. I don't like being on defensive all the time.
Yeah, it's not really done us any favours up until this point.
I like that talk, but how?
That's something I'm not too sure of. It seems that these people are well connected. I don't know how deep this web goes.
We could always stage an ambush for at least some of them, see what we can find out from who we can capture.
Yes, we would benefit from a prisoner, but we would need to know where they were operating or where they might be to ambush them.
Well, if we can fizzle out the word of a fake Tildrage site, perhaps they may be inclined to follow us there, where we will have our troops waiting in ambush.
He thinks about this and nods, just clearly, as a man who's seen military experience, he knows the value of a good ambush, so yes, that could work. I could definitely spread some information. I still have my connections at the court of Parfunis. Could see just which pies they have fingers in. It seems that, from what I know, most of operations are taking place in Nordhammer, but you've said you've had dealings with this Alistair across the continent.
Yes, he has his ways of being everywhere.
Well, tell you what, leave that with me. I'll come up with a plan. I can definitely get the word out that there might be a new find. I've got friends who have access to quite a few of the academics, and I'm sure the Royal College would be a very good way of spreading this information. They love a bit of archaeology. But it will take time to do. I can't imagine that we'll be able to get the word out very quickly. And even then, we might be waiting for a considerable amount of time. We have no idea when they'll hear of the news and then when they would go to investigate, if at all.
Well, I think if the word is spread that our party knows of the site, then they will be there whenever we go towards the site.
Yes, that might be a good way of getting some urgency from them. Okay, well, I'll formulate a plan. Leave it with me for a bit. I'll think of a suitable location that's going to be a good ambush point for us. Well, I think then that's if that's a plan of action, then we can probably wrap this meeting up, unless anybody else has anything they'd particularly like to put to the assembly. He casts a look around the table, and you can see people are contently shaking their heads. It seems that everything important has been covered. So satisfied with that, he kind of nods and says, "Well then, the meeting is henceforth adjourned. I'll look forward to seeing you all at the feast tonight." Few kind of murmurs of agreement there as everybody starts standing up to go their separate ways. As you guys are leaving, Aquinial comes up to you, Torek. Torek, I would like to go and make a copy of these notes. This blueprint is going to have to be, if we're going to make it, we're going to need to make it right. I'm going to need a detailed set of instructions here.
Oh God. Quiniel, I've been burnt before. I slowly hand him the scroll. But as he goes to grab it, I'm just going to be still holding onto it and go, "Don't fuck this for me." Then let go of it.
You see him kind of unroll it and sorry, not unroll it, just re-roll it and kind of carefully put it into his robes. Don't worry, Tarek. I'll be able to get this copied up within the hour. I'd imagine you can have it back at the feast.
I give a soft nod and let him go. And
So yeah, he leaves then in the direction of his office, plans in hand. So it's now probably about 7-ish. The feast isn't due to start until 8, so you guys got about an hour of downtime if you had anything on your minds that you particularly wanted to do.
I think the only thing that I had new on my hands is this Diabolos plate. I was going to have a word with the party on how I should use it.
Did you have ideas? Anything in mind?
There are a few ideas. I could either try and make some armor or perhaps a shield, or perhaps we could try and use it to reinforce the cart a bit. That thing is seeing danger more and more frequently. We've already lost one cart, haven't we?
Yeah. Is anyone kind of in need of some sturdier armor?
I mean, I wouldn't say no, but not particularly.
I even wager it'd probably make a good hammer.
You've got a reasonable chunk of plate to work with, so you could definitely get a hammerhead out of it.
Yeah, it's special material, so just wanted to know if anyone had any particular ideas. Maybe I'll try and keep some shavings and make some arrowheads, no matter what I make, but this isn't like an urgent, we need to decide this now kind of thing. It would take me several days to craft anything. It's just a case of like, if anyone has any ideas of like how we could use this.
If Tarek has a menu, that might be helpful.
I've given you like what 3 or 4 ideas. Like, do you want some dessert?
I would like to peruse at my own leisure.
Yeah, hey Tarek, what's the chef special today? Yeah.
Well, I could make some Diabolos shrapnel grenades.
Sounds delicious.
Oh Jesus, that would actually be quite devastating. Holy shit!
What about your the poison thing? I can't think of the word for it. The thing that shoots out.
Grenade launcher.
Yeah, that's the one. That's it. Could you sort of use any of it for that?
I mean, it'd be a bit of a brick firing. Are you suggesting Diabolos glitter?
A little bit.
I'm so confused on what this application would do.
I don't know.
There is temptation.
I'm sure it'd look nice, if nothing else.
Oh god, we need to put out this fire. Just Diabolos does.
It's just fucking like asbestos in terms of fireproofness. It's like, boy, is it bad for you, but it's fireproof, so just don't breathe it in.
Oh god, should I just make some super glue or something? I don't know.
Diabolos hoof super glue, yeah.
I thought you had to put soup. Shall I just make soup?
Diabolos and coriander soup, yeah.
Oh god, it'd be so crunchy. I've only got the scales.
Yeah, it's not even marrow in that. It is just like keratin.
Yes, Chinton, my favourite.
Just using it as like croutons or something, just little fucking squares of it.
That just sounds like a really nasty prank to pull on someone.
Yeah, it's That wouldn't be great.
But yeah, all fun applications. I was just wondering if anyone was like, "Oh man, I'd love a great hammer or a tower shield made of this stuff." I mean, if I am so bold to assume it would be massively flame retardant.
I think potentially a great hammer or similar for Titus could be beneficial. His current great weapon has the unfortunate side effect of often hurting himself.
Not anymore, it doesn't.
We don't know that though, do we?
Yeah, no, you would have seen him use it after.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot that. Ignore what I just said.
Either way,
In fact,
that
thank you.
weapon
You've just given me exactly what Titus is going to be doing during his long absence. I need to go and do something with that particular arc.
Oh Jesus!
In that case,
So he's not going to
Braxton,
be smashing elf pussy.
could you make use of another weapon or a shield of some kind?
I depends how good the shield is. I already have quite a handy one from Toric. Any weapon, I would stray away from using a great weapon. I rely on my trusty shield during combat.
Just to clarify, I haven't like fully changed your shield. I've enhanced it with an infusion. I could put that infusion on top of this new shield. Oh, because it's not magical in nature. Oh, as long as some things aren't magical, I can buff them essentially. Oh no! Why would you need a shield that good?
Yeah, I've already got like 21 AC or something.
Holy crap.
My thoughts then are, if I just make you like a great hammer for this stuff, you could pull it out as the fight's ending and just do a greater smite just to end the fight.
Yeah, but knowing him, he'd roll a 2. It's one thing to have a great axe, another to roll well enough to use it.
Yes, agreed. But I mean,
Maybe have a look at the cart then in that case, Toric, or some arrowheads for Havel if nothing else.
Yeah, I think the cart would be beneficial, especially with the state of the world being sort of more dangerous than ever. We may need the cart to survive.
How are Rulin's weapons looking at the moment?
Well, Rulin's just upgraded his spear to be a full iridium blade.
Okay, so
and it obviously still has that infusion from Toric.
Oh,
so
that's so good.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. Again, if he can roll to hit with it, but it's still technically not magical, I suppose, because obviously Toric can't infuse magical items.
Yeah. My thoughts as well are, if we go with the cart, like we wouldn't really be able to go incognito as traders at that point, because it's like, oh yeah,
turning up in your armored
I'm
battle
a trader.
wagon.
Yeah, ignore the mobile fortress on my.
Well, you don't really have enough plate to fully turn this into a panzer, but like you could fortify the crucial components and maybe put in some plating along the sides to at least offer a little bit of protection to the driver.
Yeah. Key areas, anti-tank.
Just a little fortification in the right places.
Okay, we'll mull that one over, unless you've got some sudden, inspiration and you want to make something go ahead.
I think I could just make a great sword. Like, it probably wouldn't go to waste on this party. Titus's weapon gives me the heebie-jeebies, and Braxton, if he doesn't want to use it, I reckon you could use it to extreme effect if you ever found an excuse to go offensive rather than defensive.
Doesn't hurt to have some spare weapons. I suppose.
Yeah. Maybe we should go hunt more Diabolos and go with the fully armored cart idea.
I just love the idea that, like, knowing Torek, he'd make like an impenetrable cart but leave the horse unarmored, so it's just like completely worthless.
Like the wheels just don't turn.
Yeah, this poor fuck. No, it was a fucking donkey, wasn't it? Or no, it was a cart mule, wasn't it? It wasn't a war horse for the cart. So this poor thing just trying to haul this like 4-ton contraption that Torek's put together.
The only opening is every time the horse dies, a little flap opens up so I can revivify it.
That's so dark.
That and like a little fucking commander's hatch or something at the top.
Die for me again, you idiot.
Well, the problem with that, guys, Revivify doesn't, that does involve there being an entire corpse there, whereas if there's some monster just like ripping your horse to pieces.
You do like mutilating people in this campaign. I'm starting to wonder if keeping back a Revivify is even worth it at this point. Because if one of us dies, I know it's just going to be like your head is swept clean off. I'm like, ah, shit, fuck. Okay.
See you later.
Now that would only be in the case of like an instant death, but you guys have got enough HP now that that's not likely on the cards.
Don't say that. That's tempting the dice.
Yeah. Depends how badly we piss off the god of death.
That's true, actually. I suppose in a narrative sense, you could definitely fuck up enough to get insta killed, but you've somehow managed to avoid it thus far.
I'm not quite sure how.
Wasn't Triss like 2 HP away from it at some point against the Hydra or something?
Triss has had a few narrow escapes. The Hydra, with the Beholder, she nearly died.
That was close. You got hit by the Death Ray as well, which could have gone very, very poorly.
If I'd taken more damage earlier on in that, she would have been as dead as Yendorn was.
Yeah, imagine getting hit by a disintegration ray. Like,
just dodge, noob. Yeah. Cool. Anyway, so we'll leave Torek to have a little think about that then. Anybody else got anything on their minds, or do we just want to skip ahead and get to the feast?
Nothing for me.
I can't think of anything.
Okay, so you take a bit of time to get cleaned up. You go to the barracks and dig out your ceremonial kind of clothing just for tonight. You may as well look nice. But after a while, the slayers who are in the fort or have just got back are all again making themselves ready. It's not often a feast is held, so it's a bit of an occasion. And obviously, word has now got out that Hrok's back, so people there's an excited buzz about the compound. But the time comes, and you guys make your way again back to the grand hall. But this time, the tables now the long tables have been set. Torches in the wall blaring full on. There's kind of delicious smell of cooking meats, and you can see that the table's already kind of laid with various kind of breads and vegetables, things like that. So you guys go and take your seats. You're kind of getting closer to the top table now that your ranking is going up within the order. But you can see quite a lot of the newer hunters are already in there, but you can tell they're all looking a bit more, I should say less green than they originally were. You can see that a few of them now are bearing a couple of scars. as Romford was saying, they've clearly been busy during your absence and getting some experience under their belt. There are a few empty chairs, but the attrition rate is reasonably high. That was always something that you don't sign up to a Slayers Guild without having to come to terms with that risk. But the atmosphere is overall, pretty good. People are already drinking. If you are tucking into the food that's available. But as the revelry is kind of getting started, a hush descends on the room, and you can see that everybody's kind of looking to the door, and you can see Hrock has walked in, and everybody's kind of taking a respectful silence. He makes his way to the head of the table and to his seat, but instead of sitting down, he takes the floor. Well, brothers and sisters, I can't tell you how good it is to be back within these walls after my absence. Now, it's probably fair to say that a few of you have been wondering where I've been, and I think I owe it to all of you to give you an explanation, as this could very well affect all of you. Some of you know, but others may not. We have come under a dire threat, probably one of the most insidious that I've had to deal with under my tenure. Now, without wanting to alarm you too much, it seems that we've managed to make quite a powerful set of enemies here. I myself have had the misfortune of falling into their hands, and if it weren't for your seniors sitting over there, and he gestures to you guys, well, I wouldn't be here giving you this speech right now. And he kind of raises a glass in your direction, and you kind of hear some clapping and cheers from the assembled Slayers. But just be careful now. I can't really tell you what their plans are or what they intend, but it's likely now that we're going to have to watch our backs when we go out into the world, and not just from our usual prey. But that brings me on to my next point. It's dawned on me now that I've been in this business for a long time. Probably too long. So to that end, it gives me great pleasure to hand over the reins of the order to, well, I would say fresher blood, but that's not technically true, is it, Yenva? Yenva kind of stands up and kind of nods a little bit, but then kind of smirks and says, "Oh, come now, Hrock, it's not right to ask a woman her age, even if she is an elf." Yes, true. My apologies. But no, I'm confident that Yenva here will be just the woman to lead us in such a trying time. I've seen her personally taking down monsters that I wouldn't even be able to have fought in my prime. I have every faith that she'll do her utmost here. So, without further ado, and he pulls back his ceremonial robe and reaches down to his belt, and you see him pull out a kind of a sheathed dagger, which he unhooks from his blade. Sorry, not from his blade, from his belt. And kind of holds this in his hands. And as he hands this over to Yenva, you can see that whilst the leather scabbard is fairly plain, you can see that the hilt of this dagger is actually made out of the very tip of what appears to be a kind of like a tooth-like structure. And you recognize this as being, the tip of the Shattered Fang. The rest of it obviously hangs on the wall of a great hall, but the tip here, broken off, was forged into this dagger. And he hands this over to Yenva, and with it, symbolically, the leadership role of the guild. And as she takes it, she kind of bows to Rock, who steps back and starts, leading a round of applause for her. And there's cheering. Obviously, the new guys have been, brutally trained by Yenva, so there's a fair amount of respect for her. They know that she's a strong character and a good fighter, above all that. And so, there's just raucous applause. People are banging on tables. But after a while, it calms down enough that she's able to speak. Well, Rock, thank you. This is an honor. I'd like to, personally thank you for, being my mentor when I first arrived here, but I'll do what I can to make you proud. But anyway, as for my first official act as the new guild mistress, I would like to really commemorate those who brought Rock back to us here. And she gestures for you guys to kind of draw the crowd's attention to you. Now, some of you may not quite know what these guys have been doing for us, but it's safe to say it hasn't gone unnoticed or unappreciated here at the guild. We've been able to balance the books. It's something that we've been struggling with for a while, but amongst uncovering all of these plots that Rock just told you about, they've also been making a fair bit of money for the guild. Prime examples of slayers. So my first act, and she gestures to Hilrus, who brings forward a little bag. I would like to officially award our brothers and sister here with their tungsten badges.
Yes!
So again, applause breaks out, and Yenva kind of gestures for you guys to come and get the badges exchanged. So you hand over your steel badges, and she gives you these tungsten ones. You notice they're significantly heavier and kind of a duller color. They don't have the sheen of steel on them, but she pins them to your robes. Kind of gives you all a warm smile as she does it. Well, now that the formalities are taken care of, why don't we get the feast going? She kind of claps her hands, and a kind of team of cooks bring out platters of roast meats, clearly quite freshly hunted, and these are laid on the table, and everybody just rips into them, starts eating. So you guys are kind of now left to admire your new badges and enjoy the revelry. I don't enjoy it too vigorously.
I was wondering if we were going to get a promotion or if Crispy forgot about that side of the campaign. I for one, am happy that we got promoted, and shall be stuffing my face accordingly.
Cool. So
watching Toriki is something of a spectator sport.
Oh Lord! It's just like he stabs his food with a fork, lifts it up, and then picks the food off the fork into his mouth. Stuff like that.
I think the better spectator sport is watching him trying to beat the crowds to the buffet table.
Just watching people get kneecapped.
Just takes a running leap onto the table. Yeah. Cool. So this goes on for a while. The drinks are seemingly bottomless here, and the well, there's enough food on the table that nobody's going to be denied a second helping. But yeah, you guys have a great night. The atmosphere is, overwhelmingly positive. It seems that spirits are high in the guild. People are clearly quite happy with the new change of management. And although it's kind of bittersweet to see Rock step down, it was something that people had been predicting for a while now. He wasn't really able to fight as he once did. But you suspect that he's probably going to be staying on as an advisor for a fair old bit of time to come. But he'll just take a much less active role in leading the order, which is probably good. You would imagine after his recent trauma, he's going to need at least a bit of time to really get over that. But as you watch, Yenva's kind of getting congratulated by all the the members of the council. It seems that it was definitely a popular pick. But yeah, the night passes with lots of revelry. The tankards are there's a lot of booze in there, but you guys make a pretty good go of it. Probably going to be hangovers tomorrow, but otherwise a fairly good day. You haven't had a good feast like this for a while, so it's particularly nice. You can just kind of take a night off and forget about everything that you currently have going on at the minute, because to be fair to you guys, you are dealing with a lot at the minute. It's a fairly high stress, high octane campaign, so you get at least one normal-ish night.
How's the wormling looking?
He's still vandalized with his mustache and monocle, but otherwise still there. The taxidermy's kind of dropped off a little bit. Could have had a nice Diablos head, but to be honest, that would have been very hard to transport. So maybe not. Cool. So you guys eventually stagger off back to the bunkhouse in the early hours. Get your heads down. And although you wake up later than usual the next morning, you're still... In fact, no, everybody roll me a constitution. Hav will do it with advantage as a seasoned alcoholic.
Yeah. I knew this shit would come in handy at some point.
16.
Fucking hell.
14.
14, okay.
17.
17.
What's this a roll for, sorry?
Con.
Oh, 19. Saving throw, right?
Yeah.
Or just... Okay.
Oh, wait, am I in 10 metres of Braxton?
Actually, that's a good point. You probably all are 10 meters within 10 meters of Braxton, because
Yeah.
the revelry, I imagine, is kind of like that scene from Monty Python where you're all dancing on the tables and.
Yeah.
Imagine being a paladin that's so good your friends can't get drunk around you.
I know, you get drunk, you can't get bad effects.
Yeah.
No nasty hangovers.
That's all the immunity to poison is. It's just like he's just got a completely hardened liver after it. But yes, on second thoughts, let's not go to Caer Enwin. It's a silly place. Cool, yeah. So miraculously, you guys wake up feeling not so bad. Ironically, Havel's the fuzziest of the lot of you, but even that is still minor. It's just another day at the office for Havel. So yeah, as you kind of come out into the nice fresh air, you can see that, as one of these recruits is actually passed out over the well, kind of like half in, half out, just slumped over it. He's probably been there all night, but you hear the snoring, so he's clearly okay.
Can I draw a face on him? To match the
yeah,
monocle on the wormling.
Okay. Screw it. Sleight of hand, please, Triss. And I'll roll perception at disadvantage.
I love the thought that you've got prestidigitation at the ready. But you use a pen.
Just use a pen anyway.
Yeah.
It's longer lasting.
What am I doing?
Hey, use one of my daggers.
Sleight of hand.
That's 15.
15. Okay, so you kind of grab the hair and pull it back just enough to get access to his face before taking a kind of a quill and drawing. You're very heavy-handed with the application of ink here, but you draw a great kind of wing commander mustache on him, and a monocle to suit. Before kind of lowering his head back down into the well. But he seems none the wiser. The snoring continues unabated. But yeah, the compound is fairly quiet. People are probably a little worse for wear this morning, but you guys are up in reasonable time.
Don't suppose many people are up to converse with at this time after a feast. Do we have any plans?
Might be worth going back to talk to Quiniel, see if he's got any other ideas for us as we go ahead.
Yes, and potentially if we are moving forward with the ambush plan, we need to figure out where this ambush could take place.
Mm-hmm. And whether we go further afield or whether the ambush is the next thing that needs to happen.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know whether we prioritise the other Tildrache sites or the ambush.
Perhaps we should talk it over with Aquiniel.
Yeah. And maybe Yenva as well, if we can find her.
Yes.
Okay, so you guys head back over the bridge to the citadel and take a good look for these two. And you must have forgotten just how wild a night this was, because the Great Hall is just a scene of utter devastation after last night. People are passed out. Just, it seems, wherever they fell. Except poor Ronfan. It seems that as a gnome with a short stature, he was probably one of the earlier victims of inebriation. And it seems that somebody, you don't know who, has taken the liberty of taking him and hanging him from his belt hook over one of the chandeliers. So he's a few feet above where he usually stands in the Great Hall. But again, blissfully ignorant of the facts, completely passed out. But you imagine he's going to have a bit of a shock when he comes to. But at the head table, you kind of find Yenva slumped in the guild mistress's chair at this point. Still asleep, but not quite as heavily as everyone else. You don't hear too much snoring.
I feel like we shouldn't wake her.
Yes, perhaps we should. Yes, perhaps we should find something else before disturbing hungover guild leaders.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be the wisest move we can make.
Say, Torek, should we investigate, or not investigate, have a look at the damage to the walls to see if we can sort of see what sort of creature this was, if we can find out more about it?
Yes, I think that'd be rather astute. And honestly, here are my thoughts on the matter. The actions described from the beast don't sound like the actions of a beast at all. It sounds like the actions of a sentient creature. We should keep this in mind when we observe the damage and observe where the damage was. It may be that this thing was looking for something in somewhere specific.
Yes, that's a good point.
Yes, yeah, I am rather brilliant. Oh, got to roll for potions.
Like the idea of Tarek just whipping out like a pocket My First Alchemy set and just brewing up or something, or just
Rolling 2 dice first, though.
or just like mind sweeping what's left of all the drinks and pouring it into a flask and just like that's a potion for the day.
I love the thought of him being like, wonder what potion I'm making today and rolling the dice himself. That's really funny.
I think Tarek would actually do that as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Baron has 6. Bugger.
Eh, shit.
I didn't really want that
Boldness would be really handy today. Oh well.
Rules are rules.
The dice have spoken.
Yeah.
Oh, was that a long rest, by the way?
Yeah, it will count as a long rest.
Beauty.
Oh yeah, because I'm still on 29 hit point.
Yeah, I'm on 14.
Yeah, you guys got fairly brutalized by that dab loss. So, yeah, you take that as a long rest. Okay, so if you guys have done that, sorry, you've taken notes of your potions. Yeah, so Braxton and Tarek, you go out and take a look at the walls, and as you kind of stand there at the base of them, you can see that the kind of the worst of the damage seems to be about kind of between the 15 and 30 feet mark. And it appears that a lot of the stonework has been chipped, as if something were to have something quite hard has hit it, but it doesn't seem to have had the force to really crack the stonework. It seems to be more superficial damage in places, like only a few bits of rock are missing, but you've got like no colossal breaches that are going to really threaten the integrity of the wall. But it appears almost as if something has been scraped along the wall at high speed, which might tie in with what Rontham was saying about the creature kind of rolling up to the wall and kind of throwing its weight against it.
How high up are the markings? Like, is this a
About 15 to 30 feet. It's
30 feet? Oh.
Is a big boy.
but the wall is structurally sound still. It's just a little bit of surface level damage with some rocks worse than others, but no gaping breaches. The defenses will hold.
Maybe we could use Triss here. Actually, think. Do you know what a cat is, Braxton?
A cat?
Yes, it's a small feline, 4 legs, a popular pet of old women and witches.
Please tell me there are several cats just trundling around Caer Enwin.
I don't believe I do. They sound like interesting creatures.
Heradius has a cat. He likes to have it in his storeroom just to keep any of the unusual critters like rodents and Torek away from his goods.
I thought for a split second there you were leaning up to a taxidermy joke. He has a cat. He hasn't moved for a while.
And here's me regretting that I didn't hop on that.
It's cool. So yes. Anyway, what I was saying with cats are they like to rub up against objects with their cheeks to put like a pheromonic trace on things that they like. So if a cat ever rubs up against your leg, he likes you. Perhaps this creature had a similar effect, and if we use a certain identifying spell, perhaps we could know if the creature has left any pheromones in its wake and what the consequence of that might be.
I'll wander up to the wall and cast Identify.
Chris, oh bloody hell, where did you come from?
Okay, so you take a look at the kind of scratch marks, and you cast Identify on it, and you kind of get a little ping that somewhere quite high up the wall there appears to be something that's broken off during this kind of contact, and it appears to be hard and kind of almost bone-like in nature.
How high up the wall is it?
About 23 feet.
I'm gonna try and climb up the wall.
Okay, you can either use athletics or acrobatics. Take your pick.
Oh, levitate.
Yes, that's where I was going with that. I'm gonna cast Levitate and sort of use the wall in front of me as guidance so I don't just drift off.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, you kind of use your hands to propel yourself up the wall, which obviously when you don't effectively weigh anything is much easier. And you find this little fragment, and it does look like a kind of a shard of bone. But as you pull it out of the wall, you realise it's got quite a bit of weight in it. It's quite dense for its size. But yeah, it's definitely a sliver of bone. It looks like it's kind of come out of an almost tusk or kind of fang-like structure, because it's kind of cylindrical almost in nature.
Okay, I'll take myself back down and cast Identify on that then.
Okay, so Triss, you are holding what appears to be an off-shed bit of Radaban material.
How do you spell that?
Radobaan.
Radaban. Ooh! I think I know what's going on. Do I need to roll nature?
Torek, here you go. It's from a... I don't know anything about it. It's called a Radaban. Do you know anything more? Do I know anything more?
Both roll me an H check. You as well, there, guy, if you would like.
21.
It's cool. I just wanted to give priority to other people when it comes to knowledge rolls. It seems a little unfair at times.
Okay, well, Triss, you definitely remember. There he is. So, Triss, yeah, you've definitely heard of these before. You've seen, exhibitions with these kind of scales in a museum before. Torek, you definitely remember this. It was one of the findings on one of your very first digs as a kind of an undergraduate at the academy. You were out helping a more experienced researcher on one of his projects, and you were digging up Radaban fossils. It's a creature that lived, the working theory is, several 100,000 years in the past, but went extinct during one of the great extinction periods.
Oh my lord, that's so exciting. Everyone, we have the presence of another extinct monster on our hands, and this one's incredibly juicy.
I don't feel quite as excited about that as you do, I don't think, Torek.
It is a big monster. I used to dig them up for Professor What's-His-Face or the other. And yes, they are large skeletons when they're extinct, but in real life I can't wait to see one. This is going to be excellent.
How do you kill them?
Meteors, if you remember correctly, Torek.
yeah, I was about to say extinction level events would rather do it. I don't know. Most things we just kind of stab until they stop moving, don't we? look over to Braxton and go, give him a good smite. Eh?
Smite will set anything straight.
Yes, I like your attitude. But I'm guessing that the Nat 20, like, do I know about the Ratapans habits?
So you know from your kind of past excavations, but these things are large. They have lots of very bony kind of outer shell, essentially. Which, again, the working theory was largely to defend against kind of bigger apex predators. But their defense mechanism was essentially to, curl up and present this armored sphere to any attacker. But they also have a fairly long tail, which was similarly covered in spiked armor, so that could offer quite the blow.
Yes, imagine them like a big bony pangolin. They'll curl up for defense when attackers try to eat them. And yes, a 30-foot tall creature did indeed have natural predators. Oh, that period of history must have been wild. But yes, I guess we know why now. Thank you, Koftara. And yes, a large bony exteriors might be a good idea to bring something that can crack bone and penetrate its outer layer. Kind of like a Diabolos hammer?
Who said that?
Oh, no one. Kick some dust.
Okay, so with that information, you know roughly what's been attacking Caer Enwin. And this thing is clearly large. You don't need Havel there to see the footprints and occasional rut that this thing has left. It's actually leading north. The tracks kind of back towards Nordhammer. But obviously you guys have a few more other things you wanted to do. So now that you've kind of looked at all this, it's starting to get a more reasonable time in the morning for people to be awake, even if they are hungover.
Oh, this kind of makes me think, should we help the guy down from the chandelier? It's a bit indignant, isn't it?
Completely ruined some people's hard-fought effort.
I guess it would be quite an effort to get them up there. Be nice to be that carefree again at some point. Anyway, I'm gonna go prepare my spells.
Okay, so Torek, you obviously know roughly what to expect should you pursue this Radaban, so you go and start to make ready. What's Havel doing during all of this?
Was I not just with them listening to Torek waffle on?
So bony targets. Not the best thing to be shooting arrows at, really.
That's what you think.
Well, it's true. Havel does have a fairly good track record.
I do have one small question.
Mm-hmm.
The battlements that it rubbed itself up against,
Yep.
were they stony, or did they have bits of metal? How good were the battlements that were held up in that area?
So they're fairly conventional stone ramparts.
Right, got you.
But as I said, the damage, there is some damage, but it's not critical. It'll be easy enough to kind of repair that. But right, are we wanting to chat to any of the guild members, or are we going after Radaban? What's the plan here?
I mean, I stocked up already when we got back, so I'm pretty much good to go.
Alrighty.
It depends on what everyone else wants to do.
Any opinions either way?
Should we go deal with this Radaban while everyone's still hungover? And
Yeah, and then perhaps Roland will have slept off his hangover by the time we want to discuss things with Yenver and co.
Maybe.
It's probably
Boy, oh
unlikely.
boy, he did have one cracking hangover.
Um,
I believe the word stonking was mentioned.
Oh, it's canon. It's probably quite unlikely that the Radaban's going to sneak up on us, right? This is a question more posed to the party than the GM at this point, because I know you can't tell me for sure that it's not going to sneak up on us.
big you say, 30 foot, heavily armoured. He has a tendency to roll up like a little angry hedgehog. I'd hope not that stealthy.
When you call them a hedgehog, that makes me not want to hunt.
Maybe a little bit more like a pangolin than a hedgehog.
I mean, that doesn't make it any better, but okay.
Ah, yes, poaching.
Oh dear. Alright, I'm gonna... Yeah, I was just wondering because you remember I've got that item that I can store a ton of spells in. I've got it on aid at the moment, so at the start of the fight, if we can see the fight coming, I can just buff our max health up quite heavily.
Yeah, that sounds like we might have chance to do that, at least possibly.
Yeah, it's either that or I just put in an offensive spell into the item, you know. For now, I think aid isn't the worst spell to be carrying. It means I don't have to change anything either. And less work for Torek is good.
Okay, so you guys have a direction. You know what it is you're looking for.
Yeah, that's the worst that could happen.
Ready.
That's the worst that could happen. Don't say that.
Foreshadowing. I like it. Okay, cool. So you guys grab the horses out the stable and start following these tracks. They're not hard to follow. Again, this creature's clearly quite large. As it kind of leads away from Caer Enwin and back into a forest, you can see that there are several trees that have been broken as this thing has forced passage through the woods. But you follow it for a few hours north. At some point, you must have crossed the border because the forest starts to thin out a bit, and the soil starts to become drier and more arid. The topsoil eventually giving way to sand as you travel. But this actually makes it significantly easier to follow this thing's tracks, as now the weight of the creature is clearly sinking in quite deep, leaving very easy to follow.
Concerned at how far this thing travelled specifically to attack Caer Enwin. Have we seen any other signs of damage it's caused anywhere else? Other than, trees and stuff, and any habitation that it's destroyed?
No, it seems to not really be... I mean, there's not many villages around these parts, but it doesn't seem to have hit any of the ones that are out here. So far, it's not even really stuck to the main road. You've been following it kind of off-piste a little bit, without any apparent rhyme or reason to its path. But it's been leading you further and further north before veering slightly west. And yeah, so now the kind of forest is giving way to the kind of more arid slopes of Nordhammer. You follow it until it gets to a ravine of sorts, where the tracks kind of go down into the bottom of this valley.
Now might be the moment for aid.
How long does this thing last, Torrik?
I was just checking that. Just like I love the cover of just Torrik just rifling through.
Let me check my
papers.
notes. Yeah.
Yeah, just as I'm literally.
I know,
just
it's
being
actually
like,
a great character trait for that, because it is just like so believable that Torrik just wouldn't fucking remember from like casting it in the morning to the evening time. Just
Yeah, one of the things about it is it doesn't show up in my prepared spells, as it's in the prepared item. So I've got to open up the manage spell screen to check it out. It's an 8-hour duration, and it's not broken by concentration.
Get that
pretty
shit
good.
cast. Nice.
That is spicy. Okay, I've got 10 casts of this. Aid. Do you want me to read it out, Crispy?
yeah, go for it.
So, aid bolsters your allies in toughness and resolve. Choose up to 3 creatures within range. Each target's hit point maximum and current hit points increase by 5 for the duration. Sadly, I don't boost this with my alchemist traits because it's technically not healing.
Yeah, it's the wording on that.
I mean, doing what I'm doing right now, if it was double the effect, it would be just all kinds of gross. Okay. So now comes the time for maths. So potentially we've got the ability to bolster 30 creatures by 5 health points. No creature can be buffed more than 10 times. How do we distribute this?
Oh, I don't know. There are 4 of us?
Yeah, it's seeming to me like there are 4 of us, right? Did I miscount?
Yes. Or-
Sorry,
One of
you
us
turn
the
around and
horses.
yeah, there's definitely 4 of you there.
Yeah. Okay, so 7.5 is what it comes out to. So 2 of us take 7 jolts, and 2 of us take 8 jolts. And I reckon we'd be
How many? What was the max each person could get?
at 10 because it's 10 casts.
Right.
It's 10 casts, so you can't affect a creature with a spell twice over, if that makes sense.
Right. Okay.
Because it says, target 3 creatures within range for each spell. That 3 creatures doesn't mean 1 creature 3 times.
But can it stack?
There's nothing that says it can't. I mean,
see.
that's ultimately GM rules, but
Because there's more.
Let me actually read the wording of that.
because it's
as
not,
written.
you can't stack temporary hit points, but this isn't temporary hit points. This is raising max HP, which, I mean, if there are tertiary rules around it, then I would be happy to prove wrong.
Choose up to 3 creatures within range. Each target's hit point max and current increase by 5 for duration.
Yeah,
And
so
you
they have
cast it
10 times.
10 times.
I couldn't do something like this before the Diabolos fight because, like, we didn't know that fight was coming. It was an ambush on the road.
It was an ambush. I don't know if that would stack or not, just because it's obviously then multiple instances of the same spell rather than one spell of significantly greater power. Is my only concern with that.
I can kind of see your point. If you don't want this to happen, I can totally understand.
I mean, it's like I like the idea of it, but I think just because, like, in the same way you couldn't stack haste on somebody, for
Right.
the obvious game-breaking cheese that would entail. I think giving essentially 150 health points would be a little bit game-breaking.
Oh no, it'd just be 40 health points. Just 40. 35 for the other two.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like a combined,
Yeah, I know. Combined, it raises the party HP by like over 100.
an extra Titus. Yeah, like
yeah.
Yeah, I think because it's not one spell of very elevated power, it is 10, instances of the same thing. I'm not going to let that stack just for balance reasons.
That's cool. That actually gives me a different application for it. I'll use 2 lots of the spell now to buff up all of us by 5 HP. So we do get a little bonus. And
as a result, what I'll let you do is like if it says you can only cast it all in one go, I'll negate that, so you could potentially cast it as an action to activate that again to essentially give healing. But
yeah, I think applying it as healing would be in the event of someone's lost their 5 HP. But yeah, I guess the other application for this is I can do this multiple days, just like kind of dope us up throughout multiple days and be
so like when you're on the road and you don't have access to long rests, you'd have that ready to go.
That's like 5 days travel worth of 5 plus max HP for the party. Like I'm not shying away from that. That's a reasonable nerf.
Just
and I can
just giving
understand
fucking like combat stims to everybody with your morning rations. Just
yeah.
It's just like what the fucking Wehrmacht did, where they gave all their fucking blitzkrieg troops just amphetamines at the start of an offensive. It's like, yeah, sleep. You didn't need that. But okay, cool. So yeah, you can pick your 3 creatures and give them 5 HP temporary. I have no issue with that.
I'll cast it twice over. So I'm affecting everyone in the party. I'll also affect. I don't know. I'll affect Havel and Braxton's horse as well.
Right. Okay.
It's kind of like I look down at like the 2 remaining syringes. I'm like, oh yeah, shit, they're missing. Just look over to the horses.
Okay, cool. So you dish out these stems and stick a few needles in the horses. So yeah, you see ahead of you this kind of ravine. And as you kind of go down it, you can start to hear a kind of a rumble as you get down the bottom. There are quite a few rocky formations down there, so you can't really see anything, but you can see that some of the canyon walls have similar scuff marks to the walls of Caer Enwin. But yeah, you kind of can hear the rumble of what appears to be stone on stone in the distance.
Let's quietly creep towards it.
Can't be that hard to sneak up to. I mean, can you hear that record?
Out of curiosity, the stone that we're in, how much does that resemble the stone that they look kind of like their outer shell and their armor?
Well, the armor is kind of like a bony white, but slightly grayer, just a little bit. Whereas you're in kind of almost sandstony, kind of yellowy, slightly pinkish tinged canyons.
So they'll stand out.
Yeah, it's probably going to be not too tricky to spot. But you guys creep forwards down into this ravine and kind of move your way between some of these stone monoliths that are down here. But the rumbling has kind of come to a stop, replaced instead by that kind of a heavy fall of feet. Everybody roll me a stealth.
Uh-oh. Clunky McClunkerson over here. Ooh, I clicked 3 by accident. I'll re-roll that.
21.
How does 8 do you?
Okay, so kind of hearing this coming, Braxton, you can tell that this creature's on the other side of one of these stone formations to you. So you try and get back kind of out of its way, but you kind of put your foot down on a bit of loose scree that kind of gives under the weight of your plated body. And to kind of stop yourself going over on your ankle, you have to kind of grab the rock wall, but this makes quite a significant clinking of metal. Everybody roll initiative. So if you guys just distribute yourself kind of around this area.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be 18 for a second. It really took its time.
And you can scare yourselves up while you're at it.
There you go,
Does this
Braxton.
also apply to me?
It does, actually.
Yay! I'm not as small as. Oh no! I'm not that tiny.
Sure as shit, not that big.
Alright, we'll compromise. I gave you max health. Let me be big. Just for one day.
Alrighty. Whack yourself on that tracker guy when you're ready.
It did the thing where it rolled from one amazing number to one the very bad. Let's.
Cleander was the second freedman that Commodus put enormous trust in.
Sorry about that. I'm sharing a initiative with Braxton, it seems.
Okay. So this this racket clearly alerts this thing. And you can't see it yet, but you hear the kind of rumbling begin again. And this Radovan, Braxton, you see it kind of burst out of this canyon, actually rolled up and kind of moving towards you like a kind of a wheel of bone. But it's actually, you get to him and use the dash action. And it rolls up the side of a canyon wall before coming back down into the valley here. So it's going to go through you guys there. So I need a dexterity save from Torek and Braxton.
Get you +5, you're close enough.
I have never heard the Senate so silent.
It's 22.
Mm-hmm.
This is a +5 due to. Oh my lord! I think I've done it.
Okay, so seeing this thing go up the wall and start to come back down, Braxton, you just kind of yell, "Cover!" And you and Torek kind of throw yourselves out of the way. And you avoid getting crushed by this, but you are going to take half the damage still. So let me work that one out. So you're going to take 8 damage. No, you're not. There's additional stuff to that. You're going to take 12 damage as this thing kind of goes past and just clips you with some of its bones.
Sorry, how much damage was that?
12.
Okay.
So it kind of lands there and kind of unravels itself from a ball. You can see that when this thing is outstretched, it is quite a lengthy creature. The tail really gives it some reach. But these bones are viciously distributed there. They're covering its pretty much most of its torso. You reckon the length of the average spine is about a meter and a half. They're fairly chunky, with some being even bigger. Havel, you are first to react.
Ooh. Da, 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 da. I don't like being this close to it, not gonna lie. I'm assuming I'm within its range.
You'd guess so, given that it's a fairly big creature with a long tail.
Cool. I don't want to get hit straight away, so I'll use my action to disengage.
Okay.
And then, fuck this shit. 10, 530. Kind of back off a little bit. Wait, was that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? No. 6. Back off a little bit.
Okay. So it swings at you, but you kind of do a combat roll to the side away from it, and kind of the ground is kind of gouged by these spikes where you'd previously been standing, but you get away scot-free.
Cool. And bonus action, Hunter's Mark on it.
Okay. So you take the extra distance and assess this thing, looking for any weak spots, which seem to be few and far between. Okay, so we've got a draw there for Torque and Braxton, so you both kind of dust yourselves off and reevaluate your current positions.
Well, I know my plan of action, so I might as well just
you
go
go ahead.
in. Yeah. There you go. 2 hits. Is it facing any particular way, just for flavour?
Yeah, so it's kind of facing kind of roughly towards Triss in the direction it was travelling, so you've kind of got the tail end of it.
Brilliant. Two swings at the tail then. It is.
Okay, roll them up.
I think that's an 18 and a 11.
Are you using the hammer?
Yeah.
Okay, so Braxton, the swings are good and they connect, but the kind of thickness of the bone in these tails just seems to absorb the blows. It seems that you've not even really done much damage to the spikes.
Damn.
It's hard to really find an opening amongst what is essentially like almost a pike wall of spikes protruding from its body.
Well then, Torek, any ideas?
We strike it with something else. Right, let's see. It is right up in face, and you didn't do much damage, did you?
Unfortunately not.
That is a shame. Let's see. Just looking in my cookbook, I wanted to cast a acid spell of some description to see if I can melt away some of its outer layer. Oh lord, it looks so scary. That art is pretty good. I'm gonna hit it with a Tasha's Caustic Brew level 2.
Okay.
So it's gonna have to take a Dexterity 17 saving throw.
Which it just passes.
Oh. Well, it doesn't have a effect on a miss, sadly.
That's heartbreaking.
Oh, there goes one level 2 spell.
Okay, so Torkin, it's such close quarters, and still kind of just pulling yourself up. You kind of hastily cast this at the tail that's kind of swinging around, but just managed to miss. But you see it kind of eat into the sandstone behind it.
Yeah. Some of my finer acid powder. Yeah, I don't think I can make myself really more safe with a bonus or a movement action. So I think I mean, and we haven't really taken enough damage to get healed, right, Braxton? You succeeded your dex save as well.
Yeah, sort of
Yeah,
12.
you both took 12 damage.
Yeah, so I think I'm just going to hold ground here for now. Like, Torek seems to be in this area where there's a like 2 bits of rock, so it can't really roll over him as such just yet, unless it breaks through the rock face. Oh dear.
Okay, so Torek, end of your turn, yeah?
Yeah. That was just a really long-winded way of saying I.
No, it's fine. But it is now going to use its legendary action to kind of react to this spray of acid, even though it missed, and it's going to then bring the tail back and use it as a club against you, Torek.
The Emperor has an attractive
21, so that's going to connect.
Oh, it certainly does.
with as many
So that is going to be 26 bludgeoning damage there, Torek.
Alrighty.
So this thing just kind of brings this tail down like a lash, and kind of one of the spikes just catches you square in the chest. The plating of the exoskeleton kind of buckles a little bit, but doesn't break. It keeps you from getting completely skewered, but the gyros just don't have the power to stop this kind of impact, just knocking you backwards into the wall here.
Yeah.
But you're alive. Warning signs are kind of, the warning tones are going off again. You still haven't really got around to ripping those out yet, but
Yeah.
it hurt.
It did hurt. I can indeed feel it. So thank you.
Okay, and that leaves us with Triss.
Okay, I am gonna cast Hunger of Hadar. So it's a Dex 17 saving throw. I open up a gateway, and create a 20-foot radius. Hold on a second. I'm just trying to. There's a lot going on here.
Sorry, what was the spell?
Hunger of Hadar.
Hunger of Hadar.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Dex saving throw.
Dex save DC 17, right?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Which he fails.
Okay.
That was it just was hovering over the 18 there for a moment.
Oh god. Let me just.
But no, you're good. He's failed that one.
Sorry, Torek, you are slightly in that. Shit. I thought you were further away. Okay, so he is gonna take. How much cold damage is it now? 2d8? No, hold on, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Sorry.
When it starts its turn, I think.
Yes.
So yeah, when it starts its turn, it'll take the cold damage. And then if it ends its turn there, it must do another dex save or take the acid damage.
Yes.
But that's concentration, so you've got that area there for a minute's duration, so long as you maintain that.
Cool.
Cool.
And that is it.
So actually, he should have made that saving throw at the start of his turn. So we'll just roll that number over for when that does come around.
Okay.
Because there's no initial damage to that, but his turn's after you, so it may as well have.
Yep.
Have rolled that.
get my slot back. Cool. Alrighty, that's
Nice.
me.
Yep. Well, unless you wanted to move or make any bonus actions,
Where I'm stood now, I would incur reaction from him, wouldn't I?
you would.
Let me just double check and see whether I've got anything that would actually be any use to me. Nah, that's me.
Alrighty. So he will use that roll that he just did. So he's failed that. So you want to roll up that that damage
Yeah,
for the
just
for
remind
Colt
myself what it
Triss.
is. What the hell is it? 2d6. Fucking hell, 11 damage.
That's not a terrible roll. Okay, so you kind of watch as this kind of creature's kind of writhing around in this darkness, and you can see, like, the kind of the starts of what appears to be frost forming on the outer extremities of these spikes, as this kind of otherworldly cold starts to set in. So the creature is actually going to lash out at you with his tail, Triss. And that is going to be... Let me work that out. A miss. You see it coming. I managed to kind of hit the deck in time for it to go over you. It's going to kind of snap its tail backwards towards Braxton, though, for his second action. Or, well, multi-attack, I guess. Braxton, you're not so lucky.
Does it change anything that the creature is fully blinded?
I don't think it's
And it's difficult terrain
does.
as well.
They're like magical.
I think blinded.
Oh, no,
you
they are
get
blinded. You know, right? They are blinded.
disadvantage, yeah.
Okay, so let me roll another one. Just as well I did.
Oh,
So this kind of tail comes swinging back. Braxton, you actually use your shield to parry the. Well, not fully parry, but more kind of like, redirect the blow, kind of channeling this thing's energy into the rock wall behind you. Well, the spike kind of gets stuck in, and you can see that this thing's trying to pull out its tail, but it's currently lodged. So you've got an opening for an attack there.
do I get advantage when they're blinded as well?
You do.
Wonderful. Oh dear. That's a miss.
It is a miss. So kind of having to steady yourself from the shield. You can't do an upward swing, but because of that, you don't really get enough force to crack any of this armor. It's a pretty sturdy creature. Alrighty, and then finally, for its movement, it is going to just roll on out again. So it's going to roll 30 feet in a general this way direction. So Triss, I'm going to need a dex save from you. It's not quite got it in it to reach Havel, I don't think.
10.
Okay, so that is going to fail. So this thing kind of comes bearing down on you just out of the darkness. Because you're so close, you don't really have the time to react. So that is going to be 33 damage, Triss.
Okay. And then I need to double check and see whether I keep that spell going as well.
As this thing just So you're going to have to do a concentration. So half the damage taken. So what's that going to be? 16, about 17 con save.
Right, so nope. Got 16.
Okay, so yeah, you
Cool.
I just hit full force virus and can't maintain the concentration. And this kind of void just kind of fizzles back out of reality as you kind of stagger backwards under the impact. Okay, Havel. Now this thing's not blind, it's kind of come to and it's once again facing you.
I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
Where's that telescope when you need it?
Ah, well. Can we make me
Havel, plant a tree!
plant a tree? Keep the fight going for a couple of years. Be fine. Or plant a tree and then we leave and we just come back in a couple of years. Sorry, so I'm just quickly looking. Do I want to do any of these?
Maybe this could actually be possible. Just imagine making a homunculus. It's like, I want its function to be it waters the tree once a day.
Toric's automated gardening surface, yeah.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna risk something here. So I'm gonna move, and I'll use the special ability on the robe to impose that one disadvantage.
Disadvantage. Okay, so this thing does lash out as you get away, but
Let's see.
let's see what happens with that.
Fine.
Oof.
Yeah, that was a great disadvantage. That was.
So your cloak billows out behind you, but you just get swatted by this absolutely ridiculously large spiked tail.
Which repels me all the way over here. Oh.
So it's going to be 20 damage for Havel.
I'm still sitting pretty on 80. We're fine.
85 because of the temporaries.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There you go. How high is this section?
This one here is probably about 40 feet.
This
the
one?
very,
Like,
the very
could
edge there.
I-
That's you could shoot over that.
Oh, sick. Go on. I've restocked the iridiums, so I'll fire 2 of those.
Okay.
Let's give
roll
this
them
a
up.
shot. Oh, that was so close. It landed on 20 and rolled to fucking 4. So what's that? That's a 16 and that's a 29.
Hit and a miss.
Okay. And with the new Archer's Gauntlets, I get +8 according to D&D Beyond. Which would be 21.
21. So you fire one of these kind of arrows kind of on the fly. And you manage to hit the horn just over its eye. And Iridium kind of scours into this, like does a little bit of damage to the horn, but then kind of is sent ricocheting off. You kind of steady your breath and fire another. This time kind of getting it in the soft tissue, kind of at the base of its horns around the kind of a facial area that doesn't seem to be as widely armored, and you see this iridium tip just kind of dig in, and this creature bellows in pain.
Nice. Cool. That's my round.
Braxton and Tarek.
Do you want me to go first again?
Yeah, please.
Take
do,
that as
please
a
do.
resounding
Yeah, sorry.
So right, I'm going to run up to this thing. I'm going to do a drive-by Shield of Faith on Triss. So you get +2 AC. And that's a bonus action, I believe.
Okay, so the,
Thank you.
yeah, one bonus action.
okay, so Triss, you kind of start to kind of notice this kind of aura start to surround you.
Why did I think that was a touch spell? Apparently it's 60-foot range. Oh well. And then
One of the best spells. God damn.
and then that thing's facing Havel again, so not delighted with how I performed last time I swung at its tail. I'm going to try again and try and do better.
Alrighty, roll them.
Do better. A miss and a 23.
Okay, so Braxton, you kind of come in, get the first blow deflected, but that was a bit of a feint anyway, so you kind of reverse the hammer and bring the actual spiked face of it down. And this one you do manage to initially hits a spike, but then the kind of shaft of the hammer slides down and into the flesh beneath. So roll me the damage for it.
Yeah, that's a level 2 smite as well. I want to damage these big spikes on its tail. So that's a 1d8 plus 3, and then 3d8. 4d8. So that's 30 damage, one of which is frost, if that makes any cold, if that makes any difference.
Okay, so you kind of bring the hammer down, and again there's this thunderclap as the force of your faith transfers to this thing's kind of outer carapace. And there's kind of like a bit of an explosion as the hammer hits, and you see that like a couple of the spikes are kind of splintered and sent kind of scattering off to the ground. Thankfully, your shield protects you from the worst of the shrapnel.
Nice, and that's my go finished.
Tarek.
Bitchin'. Right, I'm gonna actually heal myself this fight, and I am going to, in that vein. Oh, I just remembered. Well, I had a whole thing planned out with it, with the fact that I would have. Oh no, I could still do it. Yeah, I have 5 movement, not 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna shocking grasp it.
Okay. So
Hoping that
an essence attack spell, isn't it?
yeah, so that'll be plus 9, 23 against AC.
Yep. So you grab one of this creature's spikes and send a jolt through it.
Right, let's see how it likes lightning damage. 6 lightning damage.
So you grab it, and it, as it happens, bone's a fairly decent insulator. It doesn't appear to have done too much.
Ah, that is unfortunate. But I'm going to use the bonus action to pump up my health. Healing word myself.
Okay.
So that'll be a D4 plus 10 health to myself.
11.
11. Wow.
Your dice rolls tonight. Oof.
I better not bitch too much. Other people have had it way worse. Let's see. That puts me up to 53.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep, we're on the same page on that.
Lovely. And end turn there.
Okay, Triss, you're up. So you've kind of recovered a little bit. Braxton's kind of now put himself between you and it, buying you a bit of a reprieve, especially with that big blow.
Oh, and I've just removed its reaction if you want to get some distance.
Cool. I have a question. What size is this creature?
So this creature, a very good question, is going to be, I think it's counted as gargantuan, but I will just double check. Because I know it can be a little funky with that. Yeah, gargantuan.
I'm assuming that's bigger than huge.
It is bigger than huge.
Shit. Right. Okay. Ba, 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 ba. That changes the plan slightly.
Do you need me to shrink it down?
Hell yes. I have a good plan for that.
Why have you not
Alright.
been doing this before? Just shrink everything and stomp on it or something. Pest removal.
God, I wish I could do that.
Right. So I am gonna cast Chill Touch on it. Which is just a ranged spell attack. Mm, 16?
What's that come out as?
16.
16.
Mhm.
Right. I'm afraid that doesn't quite do it, Tris. The blow has you more concussed than you previously thought, and you just kind of freeze an outlying outcrop of rock.
Okay. I'm gonna move a bit further away. 5, 10.
So you using kind of the bulwark, which is Braxton, you kind of put some distance between you and that, and this thing's just been jolted by Torek as well, so he doesn't lash out at you as you go.
Okay. Think that is it for me. Yeah, end of my turn.
Okay, so kind of turning around, this thing is again just going to kind of curl up and roll. Also, I need a dex save from all of you three as this thing just rolls up the canyon and up the side.
Shit. Moved away from Braxton. That was a bad mistake.
19.
Okay, so Rich, you're good. Or well, take half. But
17.
Tris, you're just outside Braxton's
Okay.
range, which is a pass still.
Okay.
And Torek, you're going to get the bonus because you're still obviously adjacent to Braxton.
Oh, I think I clear it, yeah.
Yep. Okay, good. So you guys are starting to catch on to this thing's tricks now. So you're going to be able to dodge the worst of this.
I have someone I believe who can speak.
So that is going to be 10 damage each. As this thing moves through you. But as it uncurls itself, Tris, the tail comes sweeping round in an attack. But it doesn't quite have the coordination to catch you with it. You managed to just about pull yourself back in time.
That roll was
Its tail just...
concentration, by the way.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, and the tail kind of slams into the kind of rock formation to your left. And that's a creature's go. So, Havel.
I'm assuming I can see it from there.
Yeah, you'd still have vision on it.
Oh, well, in that case, 2. 2, please. The lightning apparently doesn't do much. That's only a 24 and a 22.
So that is going to be a hit and a miss.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, that will be 19 still. So
19 damage. Alrighty. Okay, so again, you loose these arrows. As this thing kind of pulls its tail free, it gives you like a nice exposed view of the underside of it, and you manage to get these arrows kind of into the more vulnerable flesh there.
cool. Yeah, that's about it. No other actions yet.
Tarek and Braxton.
We're on push to talk button.
You go again.
Yeah, I was trying to say that, but I pressed the wrong button for push to talk. Okay, up I run. Is this rocket climbable, or should I go for Tris?
So it counts as rough terrain as you're trying to kind of scramble up it, but it's not too. This ledge here isn't too high up. You're able to kind of just scramble up it without making any checks, but it counts as rough terrain.
I could just about reach. That's cool. In with 2 attacks again.
Sure.
Two misses. Bad rolling tonight.
Yeah, you aren't having much luck. So again, just can't quite find your footing in this kind of gravelly scree. And as a result, your resultant blows lack the power and accuracy you would have liked. Tarek.
Bitchin'. I think I'm gonna try and hit it with the reduced person. It's just called enlarge/reduce.
Oh, okay.
It was a creature or object. Oh, well, I love it when spells are flexible like this.
Yeah.
See, range is 30. I am actually in range where I am, right? Yeah.
Just about, yeah.
Unless it's on a big ledge and Pythagoras is being a bitch.
No, you're good. It's not too high up.
Lovely. Cool. I'm going to try and hit it with the reduced person then. See if it can succeed a Constitution 17 saving throw.
Alrighty. Which it cannot.
Yeah! Cool. The target's size is halved in all dimensions. Its weight is reduced by 1/8 of normal. To 1/8 of the normal. This reduction in size, it makes it shrink one size in category. So I think it goes from colossal to huge.
Gargantuan to large, in this case.
Oh.
How would the sizes work?
They're usually set dimensions.
Okay.
But because this one's not quite colossal, I've tweaked it to be gargantuan. Even though 30 foot is allegedly colossal. Just because it's not quite that big. It's just quite long.
Cool. The spell takes effect like that, and I am then gonna take some cover around this corner. And I'm gonna hide. Not with an action or anything. I just hope it doesn't come and get me.
Yeah, just got to put some terrain in between the two of you.
Yeah, it'll have to Beyblade its way round. To which, hopefully, I'd know if it's coming. Anyway,
The rumbling would probably give it away.
Yeah. Tris, there's your target.
Beautiful. Right. Now we're ready. I'm going to cast telekinesis on this bad boy. He's got to be his strength check versus my spellcasting ability check.
Okay, so he has disadvantage on that.
Okay. Ooh, 28.
Yep, so he fails that.
Amazing. Right, so he is now restrained. And I am gonna lift him up. How far up could Braxton theoretically stab or hit?
Probably 10 feet in the air. We'd say if Braxton's like a 6-foot guy, we'll give him, with a hammer's reach, probably an extra 5 foot maybe. So I think 10's reasonable.
Cool. I'm going to lift him up 10 feet then.
Okay, so this now significantly reduced Radovan, it's kind of like lifting in the air, kind of trying to twist and turn, but to no avail.
Tell you what, I'll just send you the wording for this as well, because I'm not sure how this is going to play out.
Okay, let's have a look. 30 feet in any direction, including upwards, not beyond the range of spell. Till the end of your next turn, it's restrained. Blah. Okay, yeah, sure. So he is now suspended midair.
Fabulous. There we go.
Crispy's like, what have you done to my encounter?
Don't you worry, guy.
Oh no!
I have contingencies.
Oh no, a second round of that! Look out!
Oh no.
Oh, do you think I'd do something like that to you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Does anybody hear enormous crab creature?
On that
Fucking
note,
Bruce.
everybody roll me a perception.
Wait, for real?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
shite.
Oh, yeah!
Eight.
5.
My perception takes a 5 down to 2, so...
Lol. Mine was a whole 7.
So Triss, as you're using this spell to kind of keep this thing airborne, you actually get like almost a telekinetic jolt as you get this kind of message from your patron telling you to be careful.
I'm going to quickly yell, watch out.
Alrighty. So the creature goes back to its turn, but it is obviously now suspended. Now I think, this creature doesn't make the test until it's your turn, so he's going to be trying to lash out there. He can only really reach Braxton, so the tail is just kind of swinging, but it's not really doing it in a very coordinated manner. So there'll be disadvantage.
Like a really angry pinata.
Essentially, so the first one doesn't find its mark. The second one does. So Braxton, you dodge the first one, but it's just kind of lashing around quite heavily, and your footing's not sure enough to really afford you too much purchase there. But it is smaller, so it's not hitting as hard either. So that is going to be 11 damage to you.
Still concentrating.
You get really good rolls on your concentration checks, I've noticed.
Yeah, I know.
You really should be playing a wizard. Okay, cool. So that's all the creature can really do. So Havel, you've now got a nice suspended target. You've got a good shot at this thing's underbelly. So advantage on your attacks.
Oh, isn't that nice? Oh, Bob. So this is 1. Yeah, that's a hit.
Yep.
And this is 2. That's a hit.
Yep, that would do it. So,
I mean, there's a 31 hit, are we sure?
Yeah, 31 will probably do it.
Probably. Potentially. I still get a 1. 20... 34.
34 damage. So again, these arrows just fly and find their mark. The iridium tips piercing this thing's kind of leathery underhide. And the creature's kind of writhing anyway, but it kind of keeps that up as the arrows go in.
Nice.
Braxton and Torek.
Well,
Once more. I got nothing.
I'm gonna swing. I think what I'm gonna do is try and hit its tail as it's sort of flailing through the air, so I get the extra momentum of its tail moving towards my hammer. First one is
Connects. Yep.
And the second one also hits. Nice.
Yeah, so 2 good blows as this thing swings.
Now I'm going to level 2 smite again on one of those. So. I got a one of the dice. It's 32 plus 6. 38 damage.
Okay, so another massive explosion as this energy is transferred to this thing's tail, and again you kind of just get a kind of hail of kind of sharp splintered bone kind of raining down from you as this thing shakes the debris loose. Kind of bellows in pain.
Nice. That's that turned on.
Okay, so Torek, you're obviously still concentrating on reduce, but you've got bonus action and movement should it be required.
Yeah, I think I'm actually just gonna once more drug myself with a healing word.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit of self-medication here. Cool, that's actually a 14 on the heal.
14, okay.
Bringing me up to a 57. Yep. And geez, while it comes to movement, moving a concentrated spell out of its range won't disjoint the spell, right?
No, I don't think that's the case.
Okay, so I'll kind of move around this way here, just to kind of
get even more cover.
Yeah, even more cover, or even a flank after the spell breaks, because Triss is calling out that it's not long for the world. Anyway, enter.
Nice. So Triss, we're going to have to do that contest again. So disadvantage strength. Which is still going to work out at 15.
Mine's 18.
Okay, so you maintain the telekinetic grasp of this creature and keep it airborne.
When you're maintaining a concentration spell, what else can you do at the same time?
So you're essentially using your action to maintain that, so you can cast any bonus action cantrips you might have, or use bonus action for other things. You still move, obviously, but your action is essentially tied up in keeping him airborne.
How close is he to this cliff wall here?
Well, they're not far at all. You could slam him into the side.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm just gonna bump.
Okay, roll me an attack roll with your spellcasting modifier for that rather than strength.
27.
Okay. Yep. So that's a fairly conclusive bonk. So roll me 2d10 force damage.
There we go 12.
Okay, so you kind of smack this thing again into the side, and you see a few more of the spines previously loosened by Braxton's assaults just kind of snap under the weight and kind of fall down into the canyon.
Can I take a quick glance around to see if I can get a grip on what my patron was warning me about as well?
Yes, roll me a perception with disadvantage.
That's 7.
You feel ever so slight tremors underfoot.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to take a step or two away, but keep. Yeah, right, that's good. Yeah. That's where I am my turn.
Okay. So this thing doesn't really have a lot of options here, so once more it is just going to lash out as best it can against Braxton. So that is actually not going to hit. Nor is that one. Now that it's losing quite a few spines from its tail, its effective coverage when it swings is a bit reduced, Braxton, so you have an easier time kind of keeping away from these ones as it just kind of frantically swings its tail at you. But you come to no harm. And that's its action, so Havel.
I wonder what we'll do. I'll bonk 2. And... Ha! Well,
Don't you
it's
still
a hit
have
and a 1.
advantage?
Do we? I forgot. Didn't
No,
I say?
it's not
Yeah,
restrained.
it's in the
Oh,
it's
shit.
the air, so it's advantage.
Oh, right, the entire time. Okay,
So a
never
hit
mind.
and another hit.
Sick. And I still get a 1. This game hates me. 31. Total damage, though?
31. So again, just more arrows into this thing's underhide. It's starting to, be kind of losing a fair bit of blood now from these wounds. They're not large, but these arrows are clearly going quite deep. And as it lashes its tail, kind of, blood is being strewn across the rocks as well. Braxton, Torek.
It's time for 2 swings.
Yeah, it is.
This hammer's going again. Oh, a crit.
There it is. You want to roll me that damage just while we're at it? Or
Okay. The other one's a miss anyway. That's a 19.
Mhm.
I guess it's rude to not smite on a crit, isn't it?
Yeah, that's just not... I'm pretty sure it's in the oath somewhere.
Yeah.
I shall
It's
smite
going to
upon a
be...
crit.
It's just going to be a level 1 smite,
Mhm.
which is still quite a few dice. $47 damage.
47 damage. Okay, so Braxton, you kind of turn this around in your hand as this thing waves down. You've kind of broken off most of the spines. So as this lashes out, you kind of just put the spiked tail of this axe into this creature's tail. And because obviously it's swinging towards you, you get that extra momentum. And this kind of sharp edge slices through the kind of the softer underskin before you feel it make connection with the bone in this thing's tail. but the impact just carries it on. You kind of hear something give, and then your hammer kind of slices through in a solid motion, and the tail falls to the ground and kind of rolls to the bottom of this canyon. This creature just bellows in pain, just kind of still flailing anywhere, but now with just a stump where its tail was.
Nice.
Kind of, showered now in kind of warm monster blood, as this thing is just raining blood above you as it's kind of frantically lashing.
Yep, no further actions for me.
Tarek.
Cool. So there was a rumbling underground, yeah?
There was a rumbling in the ground.
Ooh,
Just
more
underfoot.
Diablo cards. I'm gonna come round this way. It's still in the air, right?
It is.
Jesus. I don't have any offensive spells that are bonus action, so I'm actually just going to regular action fire my crossbow.
Okay.
Wow, it's been a while, huh? Hi.
Is it rusty?
Maybe. So that's a 23 on the hit.
It hits.
Oh, fantastic! This is gonna do some damage. It's gonna do 5 damage.
5 damage. Tarek, you grab this crossbow, brush the dust off of it as you pull it out of the pack. I fire it at this creature, and the bolt sticks in, but not very far. I just imagine now Tarek's just doing like an Obi-Wan, just throwing it down, just so primitive.
Yeah. In fact, I'm doing what I normally do in Monster Hunter. I'm just firing stones out of my arm sling at it.
Yeah.
Like, die! And then I'm going to come back round the corner. Oh, I love this character so much. The thing is, my power isn't even in me anymore. My power was in the last 4 days making archery bracers for Havel.
Yeah. They've done them well so far.
They have indeed.
Alrighty then, Triss, I guess that means you're up.
Another contested roll. 18.
And that is going to be 11, so you maintain the hold.
Okay, this time what I'm going to do is lift it 20 foot further up into the air and then smash him down against the ground.
Okay, so roll me an attack.
16.
Not so good this time. You don't quite get the speed with telekinesis, so roll me a d6 damage there for force.
That's 4.
Alrighty.
And I'll just leave him pinned against the floor.
Okay. So this creature kind of like tries to pick himself up from this this hold, but isn't having any of it. But as he's about to struggle, Braxton, Triss, you notice it gets all of a sudden quite dark quite quickly. And you look up and you see that something is blocking out your light, something big. And this something roars, so I'm going to need everybody to make a constitution saving throw, please.
Oh no.
You're just too far away from me, Trace.
5. Oh fucking hell.
Ah, shit.
Am I within range of you, Brax?
No, mine's a 13.
Okay, so you two both automatically fail your concentrations as well. So this thing kind of loses the restraint and grows back up a size. However, as it's picking itself up, this shadow just leaps down from the ledge kind of lands with 1 foot, pinning this to the deck, and then you just see powerful jaws just clamp around this thing's head.
Oh, shite.
That's a bit bigger than I intended it to be. Let me scale that down.
Oh, thank God. Oh.
And you, Braxton, kind of hear this thing kind of whine, and then there's just a crunch as these powerful jaws just presumably crack something vital, and you see the light in this Radaban's eyes just go. And this creature just starts to kind of just chow down on this thing, just doesn't care about the armor, eats for bones and all.
Oh my god. I told you it had natural predators!
Is this one extinct as well?
Apparently not. Oh shit. It's a devil jaw. These things are really cool.
So this thing is now just eating the Radaban. But at the rate it's going, it's probably going to finish it quite quickly.
I vote we run.
You'll go.
yeah. Maybe we should totally fucking get the fuck out of here.
How the hell do we do that?
I mean, there is a gap next to it. It's fucking leg it and hope for the best while it's busy. So how high is this bit here? Like, can I just jump up it, or would I have to climb?
That bit's same as where Braxton's on. It's only 5 foot, but it's going to count as rough terrain.
But I am not encumbered by rough terrain anymore.
You are not.
No, it's one of my abilities.
Yep, rangers are pretty handy for things like that.
Cool, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what? I don't feel like pissing it off. So I'm actually going to use my action to dash.
Mm-hmm.
And then just 1, 2, 3, 4. And just get closer towards an exit.
Okay. So you start making a tactical withdrawal. Again, trying to put cover, keep out of this thing's sight as it's distracted with its prey. Braxton and Torek.
I suggest we run, Torek.
Yeah, I'm gonna go first this time, Braxton. You've had your guys.
My moment is here. I'm running.
Yeah. My moment is here. Casts invisibility.
Okay, you're casting invisibility on yourself.
No, on the devil. No, Jesus Christ. No, yeah, on myself. Yeah.
Out of sight, out of mind. We can't see it. It's not an issue.
Don't worry, I
can't see you.
I banished it.
I am the Sorcerer Supreme.
You're making our problems so much worse. Yeah, now I'm invisible. I'm gonna leg it. I'm gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Havel, where do we run? Where's Havel running?
Yeah, I love how Havel's sprinting this way and Torek's just running in complete opposite direction.
Well, we came in where it was. So you have definitely run in the complete opposite direction.
Yeah. I'm gonna spend the end of my turn. You know, like those cartoons have got to do the whoop, running the other way and do like the hop for a few steps before going the other way.
Benny Hill
on your heels,
player.
yeah.
God, my character's such a mess.
Okay. Braxton, I guess this leaves you. Obviously now your initial adversary is no longer your concern. But you are obviously kind of facing down this larger beast.
Well, away I run, disengaging just in case. 1, 2. I suggest we move in. We move through the cave. It may not be able to follow us.
Okay.
Into the cave.
Or like further down the canyon, I think.
Yeah, canyon. Sorry, not cave.
I was about to say I can give you guys a cave. You won't like what's in it, but
I was about to say, I must have missed something. I thought this was a cave. This area here was a cave. The entrance, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. You know, goes into the underground, perhaps.
Yeah, I thought we were a cave as well. Don't know why. Just assumed.
so these are just kind of a slight outcrop of the canyon edge, but could potentially offer an exfiltration route. But that probably would involve some climbing. Alrighty, so if that's Braxton done, that moves to Triss.
Did we say we're going to move further down the canyon?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Who's fast? Who's slow? What's everyone's walking speed?
30. I think the only slow one would be Toric, unless his power armor makes him quicker.
It does a lot, but it doesn't do that.
What's your walking speed, Toric?
25 feet.
Right. Super. I'm gonna run up to Toric, grab him.
I'm invisible.
Shite!
You are invisible.
I'm gonna run up in this direction. Can I do a check and see if I can figure out what's going on with where Toric's disappeared to?
Okay, perception, but because you've come round the corner, I'm going to have you at a disadvantage because you won't have
Yep.
originally been aware of that.
Double 20s. No.
No, that's a 7, I think. Hold on, let me just double check. Perception. It's an 8.
You can kind of hear the whirring of servos, but like amongst all the crunching of bone as this Radaban's being devoured, you kind of find it very hard to pinpoint it.
What the hell's going? Okay. How high up are the cliffs around us?
As in the side of the
Yeah.
canyons or these little ones. So these you're probably looking at about 50 feet
Okay.
to its highest point.
Cool. I'm gonna reach out, grab Havel because I can see him, and I'm gonna dimension door and take him sort of pretty much as far as I can get, but to the top of these cliffs.
Okay, so you two reappear up there.
Let me just double check and see whether I keep that slot. No. And I yelled at the others to hide, right? Just to clarify.
Yep.
Okay.
Hindsight might not have been the best move. Just like trying to be stealthy from his thing. Hey guys, hide across the cavern, just echoing around. Hide, hide, hide.
Oh shit. And then I'm gonna use my bonus action far step, which is, let me just double check how far that gets me. 60 feet. So I guess that would take me back down to the bottom of the cavern.
Just about. Yep.
Okay, yeah. And that's where I'm gonna finish my turn.
Okay, so by now this thing has thoroughly devoured the Radaban bar like 1 or 2 spikes. And it's going to be kind of looking around. I was going to roll a perception, but because you've just yelled at the top of your lungs down the canyon, he's going to get advantage with that. You want to roll me a stealth there, Triss. Although you're going to have to roll pretty well.
Oh shit. Oh fuck.
So Triss, you kind of fast step down to the bottom of the canyon, just in time to see this thing look up from its lunch and just fix you with like its beady red eyes, and it is going to kind of barrel down towards you. You see its body slam into the rocky outcrop as it goes and just like tear chunks of stone away, to the point where Braxton, actually, I need a dex save from you as you're trying to dodge some of the falling debris.
$14.
So you get your shield up, and you kind of hear a pattering of smaller rocks, and then like a big crunch as something larger hits you, but you manage to keep your guard up. Triss, this thing is going to take a bite at you.
I'm going to use Entropic Ward to impose disadvantage
Uh-huh.
as a reaction.
Okay, 22.
That hits.
That hits. So that's going to be around 30 damage for you, Triss.
Okay, and then let me see whether I can keep my concentration for fast step. 15, right?
Yep.
I am rolling like shit. Okay.
Okay, so kind of this thing's jaws. You again try and throw yourself back, with this thing just kind of grabs its jaws just around your ankle and just crunches. There, Triss, I'm going to need a con save, please. In addition.
Fuck, 5 flat.
You got to scream out in pain as this thing just again uses the force of its jaws to just crunch down. You now have a broken ankle, and your movement speed is halved. But that is the end of its go. So, Havel, you obviously from your vantage point, you can kind of see it going down.
Indeed. Ooh-dee-doo-dee-doo-dee-doo. Um. Okay, yeah, I'll do it. I'm gonna be conjuring an animal.
Mm-hmm.
Which one do I want? Oh, they all have the same flying movement speed, don't they? So it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I just acid. Why not? We'll go for the black dragon Aquarium.
Alrighty. Pretend it's black.
Quickly kill it.
Oh.
What size are they? Oh shit, they are medium. For some reason I thought they were bigger than that.
Oh.
Oh well, fine. I'll
Wondering,
roll
isn't
for
it?
its 18.
Was that the breath attack?
That was its finger. You just have to roll for its place on the board.
Oh, okay.
That's my go, and then it gets its separate go, kind of like
yeah. Okay.
Homie was supposed to be. Cool. Don't really have much else I can. No, I really don't have a lot else going on that I can use, so I'll leave it there for now.
Alrighty, so Tarek and Braxton.
You were so keen to go first last time, Torek. I wouldn't mind if you wanted to again.
Yeah, I'm feeling people might need some heals, huh? There is no way we're fighting this thing for real, right? We just need Triss out of there.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Cool. I am going to. I was just gonna quickly check if there was a bigger one-hit heal that I have, and no, not really. My heals are small and balanced. But saying that, I will break my invisibility, casting a mass healing word on everyone.
Okay.
So everyone will gain 1d4 plus 10 HP back.
Roll up.
So 13 health back.
13 health back. Okay.
I have taken a lot of healing this match. Let's see, 70.
Okay, so these darts fly out and find their mark. Triss, it kills a bit of a pain, but your ankle is still just at an unnatural orientation.
On the line to restore glory to his city.
Okay, I am then going to. I'm going to drink my own potion of swiftness as a standard action. So
Okay, so you chuck that.
my land speed goes up by a number. It goes up by 10 feet.
Uh-huh.
So now I am not the slowest.
What's that whole thing about the you don't need to be faster than it, you just need to be faster than your friend?
Oh, no. And in that spirit, I am going to run. Or do I run? Do I stay? I'm gonna run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm right on the side of the map. Freedom! It's nearly there!
I like how in Tarek's mind there is just like an invisible line in the canyon that is safety for him.
I know, yeah. It's where the canyon basically began, right?
Okay, so Tarek puts 3 sheets to the wind and makes his way out. Braxton.
Oh boy. I think I'm gonna have to retreat with Torek.
That is sensible.
And that's it. Actually, Dash. Be next to Torek.
Okay, so you guys are, got some cover between you and it, and you're almost there. So Triss, this thing is still towering over you. Your ankle is giving you all sorts of pain.
I am going to do the only thing that I can do and magic door myself away.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so which?
Door, that's the one.
Yeah, which direction are you going? Up top with Havel? Are you going out with Torek and Braxton? What's the plan here?
I'm gonna head up top with Havel.
Okay, so you kind of appear at the top of a cliff and kind of stumble over as you try and put weight on your foot. But Havel kind of steadies you as you go, and with an arm around his shoulder, you're able to kind of hobble away. And because you guys are distant enough, and that there's this little wormling here, I'll count that as you guys disengaging. As you just kind of hobble away with Havel there, you just hear the vicious sounds of like a high-pitched squeal and crunching as this wormling just is like the Devil Joe equivalent of like a chicken nugget. But Braxton, Tarek, you again just make haste, Torek with your chemical assistance and Braxton with your military training. If there ever was a time to do a forced march, now would be it. So you guys kind of retrace your steps out towards where the where you guys left the horses and the carts. Havel, you kind of help Triss, and you kind of use your knowledge of the terrain to kind of find a path back around the canyon, where you rendezvous at the carts with the other two. And much to your relief, you don't appear to have been followed.
Cool,
Well,
that was fun.
It was fun. Can I do a nature roll on the nature of that thing?
I love
Yeah,
nearly
sure,
dying.
why not?
And embody the Roman god. He too.
It is still a 11.
You're pretty sure that thing was extinct at one point, but you weren't really paying all too much attention to the finer identification points.
What he's trying to do.
As the whole running for your life thing made that kind of tricky.
The only thing I recognized about it was its teeth. Its teeth were found in a Radaban carcass as I dug up. That's how I knew they were hunted.
Cool. So you guys regroup at the horse and wagons. Triss, you're able to obviously sit in the wagon and take the weight off your ankle. But
Does this mean I get a horse? A real horse?
Is Torek riding the real horse?
Torek, if you want to ride the horse, you can ride the horse.
Yay. I'm a grown-up.
Torek, I need an animal handling at disadvantage.
Oh, that is a bad roll.
Oh god.
So that is an unnatural 1. I'm going to +5 with Flash of Genius.
Okay, so you get on and kind of kick this, because of your little legs, it's not where the horse is used to getting kind of kicked to be spurred on, but in the rather sensitive ribs, and it just bolts. You have a flash of genius, but it might be a good idea to cling on to whatever you can. So you just grab this horse's mane, which seems to, terrify it further. And the rest of you just watch as Torek's horse just bolts off out into the wilderness, with him kind of clinging on for dear life.
Maybe I should render the horse unconscious?
Dear.
You are bolting away at speed.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I command my horse to chase after Torek.
Okay, so you ride, pretty hard. After a while, you do catch up, being a fairly experienced rider. So you kind of bring your horse alongside.
I try and I'm gonna jump across to his horse and try and tame it or calm it down.
Okay, acrobatics, please.
Do I see him going for the jump?
No, you're too busy trying to stay on the horse.
Oh no.
Oh shit, that's a 7.
Braxton, you free your feet from the stirrup, and kind of bring yourself up to a kind of a low crouch on the back of your horse. You wait for the opportune moment and kind of leap over, and completely miss. You misjudge the lead you need, and you aim at a spot where the horse no longer is. So you kind of come crashing down onto the ground, where you can take a bit of bludgeoning damage.
Bugger.
You can take a whole 6 bludgeoning damage as it happens. and you kind of watch as both of these horses now, with no rider on it, and seeing Torik's horse in kind of sheer terror and being a herd animal, this thing is just going to go, I should be scared too. And they're going to continue bolting away. Torik, you can see that these horses are kind of starting to veer around to the right, following the natural lay of the land. This is going to take you eventually if they continue right back into the canyon you just came out of.
Ooh, no. Okay, I am going to. I'm gonna booming blade the horse next to me. I'm gonna booming blade Braxton's horse and try and knock it unconscious.
Right, okay. Attack rolling, I guess.
You thought he must be mad.
So that'll be a 17.
Yep, that hits. So you knock this horse unconscious, and it just kind of falls to a kind of a skidding halt. But this terrifies your own horse even further with the loud noise, and this thing just is like in a full-blown gallop now back towards this canyon.
I'm gonna shocking grasp my horse.
Okay. Actually, you're already holding on to the mane, so I'll just let you get that for free. So you jolt this horse, and again, it just kind of like locks up and comes to a skidding halt. Flying from it, you're going to take the damage that you do to it as well. So, what was that?
I rolled good on damage. That was 16 lightning.
16 lightning. Okay, so you take that yourself. 54, and you've killed the horse. You've just fried its nervous system.
Oh no. Oh no. Just think. Revivify? This is such a waste of potion. Oh god. We can't deal with any more dead horses. I'm gonna revivify it because I'm scared what Triss will do to me if I don't.
Okay, so in a panic about all the unnatural shit Triss could and probably would subject you to, when she finds out, you panic and start to administer a whole cocktail of kind of neurostimulants to this horse in an attempt to undo the permanent brain damage you've just given this thing. So you take like a heavy gauge syringe and just jab this thing kind of in the neck, just below the base of the skull. After a while, this thing's leg starts kind of like twitching as if it were kind of kicking out at something. But you kind of keep the syringe plunger depressed until all this fluid is in the horse, which regains consciousness and then kind of stands up and just kind of like snorts and shakes his head a bit as if nothing had happened.
It's okay. It's gonna be okay. Do I have anything on me that horses eat? Probably not.
Well, I know you've got coriander. Do you make a habit of carrots like on your person just for this soup on the go?
Oh no, unfortunately I only have half of that puzzle. What can I say? We bump into more monsters than we do carrots. I do have coriander on me. Oh dear. I'm just gonna pat it on the nose until someone comes and gets me.
Okay, so Braxton, you've at this point picked yourself up and dusted yourself off, and kind of come and collect your stunned horse, and also lead Triss's horse now with Torik dismounted away and back to rejoin the party.
Horse riding wasn't for me. Fuck.
By rejecting the authority of the
Yes, Tris, the horse is fine. It just tired itself out. It's nothing to worry about at all.
Do I pick up that he's lying to me?
Well, you're in a considerable amount of pain still with your ankle, so probably say no. Just because Toric's really hard to read anyway. You just can't fucking tell.
Absolutely no different to his usual weirdness then.
Yeah, pretty much. But yes, that ankle's swelling and it's clearly broken. But you're in the safety of the cart and on your way back to Caer Enwin. So it takes you best part of the rest of the day. So you kind of arrive just as it's starting to get dark. But the Radaband's dead, so mission accomplished, I guess.
Yeah, provided that other beastie doesn't realise where we've come from, we'll be fine.
All right. So you guys dismount, have a bit of supper, and make your way back to the barracks.
We're going to need to warn people to build bigger defences. Ones that are more suiting to stopping giant monsters.
Much bigger.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, that is where we're going to call it for tonight, but well done, everybody.
Oh, blimey.